Good afternoon and welcome to our webcast on trading today's hottest markets with indicators, just the latest in a series of live events produced by Trader Planet in collaboration with well-known industry speakers. Today is Thursday, June 10th. Thank you for joining us today. This is Darrell, your host for today's session featuring Darrell Jobman, a senior analyst for TraderPlanet.com. Today's webcast takes place at a specific date and time, and therefore any opinions given by our presenter may change without notice at any time. Trading involves substantial risk of loss and therefore may not be suitable for all investors, and past performance is not indicative of future results. We are recording this webcast and it will be posted on Trader Planet, so you will be able to review the material at a later time. You will also find previously recorded webcasts among our other free member education resources within our site at www.TraderPlanet.com. Our guest, Darrell Jobman, trades his own personal account and has been involved in the financial markets for more than 40 years. A decorated Vietnam War veteran, he was a newspaper farm editor and editor of several agricultural publications before becoming an editor of Futures magazine for more than 15 years. He has written and edited more than a dozen books and courses on trading. While his passion is helping others succeed by teaching the do's and don'ts of trading, his editorial contributions to Trader Planet has really allowed him to take this objective to a whole new level. We're happy to have him with us today. Let's give a warm welcome to our friend, Darrell Jobman.
Thank you, Darla, for that introduction. Going to get into another market topic today that we hope will benefit traders of all caliber. First thing I do want to do, though, is to a little housekeeping. We're going to do an audio check first. You'll see that little man with his hand raised in the lower left corner, and so forth. There's a little menu there. Just click on that menu, agree. That's in there, and that indicates that you can hear me okay. And okay, looks like I'm getting some check marks, so there are some feedback that I can proceed because you can now hear what I'm talking about. A couple of other housekeeping types of items. By the way, don't forget, ask you a question toward the end, and I just get some feedback from you, man, in terms of your opinion on something that I'm at. A couple of other housekeeping items. First of all, the data that we use in our charts comes from. So if you have any questions or want to make any comments or something we might talk about there, and if you enter in that chat box, I will attempt to answer the questions at the end and not try to do too much with the questions during the webcast itself. And then finally, when we do get to the charts, you may want to look at more detail about one on those charts to see the precise points. Now today we are talking about the hot exist, and as you know, markets are up and down, and sometimes they're hot and sometimes they're not. Here's one that gets a lot of conversation from a lot of different people, whether you trade it or not. It's something you need to know about. We've heard so much about these lows that occurred in March of 2009 and the rally that went up, and now we're at a period in time where we don't know what the market's going to do. We were going up, we were doing nicely. We got into April, and all of a sudden we hit May. And if anyone else has 401ks, you know what the impact on those was during the month of May if you had mutual funds or stocks. It looks like it's on the verge of breaking down. On the other hand, you have a lot of conversation about how this market, it's picked up, and it is going to move up from this particular base right here. Use that as a point of departure for another leg of the block. Of course, well, there's nothing that's going to happen other than it's just going to go poop, and it's going to go straight down. So, you take your pick what it is, but unquestionably a hot market. This gives you kind of a big market is. Now, we also have to qualify as some hot markets. As you know, the usual suspects. This one happens to be the euro. You can tie that in with the U.S. dollar. U.S. dollar's been on the rise. Euro's been sinking. And we have, point in time right here where we're talking about the euro today, having dropped back down into, or below rather, that area there that was that kind of that 120 area, and has now bounced back above it. So the question now is this a market that is going to go on down to parity with the dollar, down to 1, as some suspect, or is this market going to bounce back? You know, you hear forecasts, you hear the pundits talking about the possibility of the euro, you know, the European Union kind of fading away. I mean, there are a lot of different things that are possibilities because of the that face some of the countries in that market going to break down. What's going to happen? It's a situation where you know, it's a very hot market to follow. In this case, a hot market on the downside as opposed to what some think about other markets. Then, of course, you have another market that has gotten a lot of attention, particularly all the things it's gotten and all the discussion about, well, that's going to mean the end of offshore drilling. There's going to be all kinds of regulations against it, many different amounts of speculation. So far, oil, after making this decline like everything else made the decline down into the lows here, oil has rallied, came back up, and then you started to get some people when it got up into this point here, started talking about, well, oil is going to $100 again, but it has since then dropped back a little bit and is now kind of in a little holding pattern right there, back and forth, back and forth, chopping, and also shows some previous again. Kind of a big picture look at a hot market that, as well as what the economy does to that particular market, because it's a major factor. And then everybody's favorite, everybody, if you don't trade it, and everybody talks about it, that is gold. Gold, unquestionably a hot market, as you know. Wouldn't it have been nice if we could have gotten in, at this point right in here, if we'd have thought about being long at that point when gold was at 750, 800, had a market that's been on the rise pretty consistently, some back and forth a little bit, but at a point where it has set some recent highs. We're going to examine this one in detail a little bit more to see how we analyze a market, but gold is one of those right now at a point where it is, making new highs, but potentially could drop back. And some people are very skeptical about gold. Others are very positive. Saw some forecasts this morning, the possibility of gold going to from where it is today, jumping to $7,000 an ounce. So it's almost any figure you throw out there, you can have some expert tell you that's what's going to happen. On the other hand, we have that inflationary scenario and things start to fall apart. Won't come in and now say, as they did, and have gold, but citizens can't own gold.